So it's 4 levels to healing. The first thing is sunlight. You have to get sunlight. Sunlight is very, very essential. It's essential for vitamin D. It's essential for converting your cholesterol over into vitamin D. It's essential for melanin neurotransmitters. The sun rays got something called chlorophylls in it that actually help fold your proteins, or what we'll call amino acid structures. There is not one biological function in your body that does not require sunlight. Every functionality of your cells requires sunlight. So you always have to do the sun. Get in the sun. For so-called black people, at least 2 hours a day if you can. The next one is hydration. Make sure that you're drinking at least 50 ounces of...
Do you drink the water or you eat the water?
I love this. I love this. So it's 2 ways you can do it, because naturally us as a people supposed to eat our water, and you eat your water by eating your fruits. Most of the fruits that we were made and selected to eat have over 85% water in it. This water is different because it's hexagonal water, and this hexagonal water is very, very structured water, and this is what you call H3O2. But the reason why is because how the sun rays it and beats on the actual fruit when it goes through photosynthesis before you take it off the tree and eat it. So if you want to do the H3O2, that's what I recommend. A lot of people don't like that or say they can't afford it, so I don't talk about it too much that no more, because it's all about the needs of the people. If people can't afford to do it, then I'm going to give you the next best selection. The next best selection will be spring water, not alkaline water. Alkaline water is mineral enhanced water. That's not real alkaline water. Real alkaline water is spring water. And you can look at the bottle. The one we've been drinking a lot is Pana and Mountain Spring in the green one. The green one. Them good ones. We tested those. We ain't found too many in them. I mean, it's the environment is polluted.
Yeah.
You're going to run across pollutants. We grow a whole farm with all organic thing. If I test one of my apples, it's chemtrails. They fly over there every day. You can't miss the pollutants. So the only thing you can do is detoxify and keep your mind right. You see that? So the next one was hydration. At least 50 ounces of hydration a day. Now, if you don't want to do that, make sure that you at least getting in 45 ounces of juice a day. So get you a juicer. Juice. And when I say juice your fruits. So we got the sun. We got the water. Next is the air. You have to breathe correctly. 98% of the so-called black community do not know how to breathe. A lot of us are mouth breathers. Mouth breathing messes up your bone structures. Mouth breathing bring in bacteria inside your mouth that you don't need. Mouth breathing actually bring up the nitrates in your bloodstream. Bacteria. When you look at the bacteria that's inside the body from mouth breathing, the bacteria is associated with your decomposing bacteria. These are bacteria that like to decompose and break down your cells. So technically, being a mouth breather and not breathing properly or getting an adequate amount of oxygen in the bloodstream to exchange, oxygen for carbon dioxide by way of hemoglobin, or what you'll call iron phosphate, this actually shorten your lifespan. So not knowing how to properly breathe take 10 years from your life.
Can you demonstrate how to properly breathe?
Yeah, so you breathe in through your nasal passage, you breathe out your mouth. So a correct breath, and it's supposed to be a timely breath. So a real breath supposed to be down to 70. Your heart's supposed to literally get to 70 to 80 beats per minute. That's a true breath. So you breathe in. When you breathe in, your stomach comes out. So when you breathe, your gut comes out. A lot of people do reverse breathing, where they breathe in and their stomach go in. That's an incorrect breath. So when you breathe, your stomach go out. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Then you exhale through the actual mouth. This is called diaphragmatic breathing, because it's a diaphragmatic muscle that actually elongates the lungs and bring it back in. So then you breathe out. So you breathe in through your nasal passage, breathe out your mouth. That's a correct breath. Conscious breathing is the reason why a lot of us are not living long, because we don't know how to consciously breathe. When you're breathing and you're moving that diaphragmatic muscle, you have one of the biggest lymph nodes in your body called the cisterna calli. And the cisterna calli, or calli, they call it many different names. This is the biggest lymph node on your body, and it meets in the middle of your trunk. All of the waste that come through your body go through this lymph node, and it's supposed to get broken down, disintegrated, discarded to the actual lymphatic system, and you're supposed to urinate it out. So just by not breathing properly, you can't even detoxify properly. So we got the sun, which is light, right? We talked about the water, which is hydration. Then we just talked about the air. Last but not least is what? Earth. We need to eat from earth. Eat more green things, eat more colorful things organically grown from Mother Nature. And we need to ground out. Your shoes and your clothes are killing you. Half the stuff we wearing got polyester in it, which is going to mess up your electrical magnetic frequency and bring down your hertz. The more your hertz go down, the more you're prone to so-called diseases. So make sure that you're wearing as much cotton as possible, especially when you come up towards your heart. Another thing is your shoes. You supposed to have your shoes on only when you walking on concrete. Other than that, keep your shoes off as much as possible because that's the way we ground out and get a lot of the protons inside of our body to get rid of a lot of the protons and bring in more electrons. Electrons is the feminine side of nature. That's the nature side of chemistry. It's a negative charge, but it has a way of taking these things from a catabolic state to anabolic state. And from a cation to the anion just means from acidic to alkaline. And you get that just by taking your shoes off. Go hug a tree. It's something called nature deficiency order, where you stay away from nature too long and you will get depressed and you actually get sick. And they took some orphans that was going through these psychological depression changes. They took them to nature for 2 weeks and they didn't have the suicidal thoughts no more. They regained their consciousness. They had purpose. Their imagination came back. They was loving on each other again. So that's one. So we talking about the sun. Talking about water. Talking about air. And talking about earth. All right, we got to talk about this last element that nobody ever talk about, which is love. Love is the most nutritional ingredients on earth. Love. And there's a lot of different scholarly articles talking about these things where they went to an orphanage and they took 2 orphanages and put them together. One orphanage, they gave them good food, they gave them good nutrition, they gave them good water, they gave them TVs, they gave them everything, but they did not give them any type of physical affection. They didn't spend no time with them, but they gave them the best environment to actually thrive in. And then they took another one that didn't have none of these nutritional things, but they spent time with them, they rocked them to bed, they read them bedtime stories, and they made sure they hugged them for at least 5 minutes a day. Guess who came out more nutrition? Not the ones who ate the good food or drank the good water. It was the ones that was living poor but had their mothers and fathers by their side. They built more amino acid structures and they had more cellular integrity than the ones that had the good food. So the last ingredients is always love. That's your number one nutrition.
Round of applause, man.